I have had a past life regression before. This is different in the sense that I went into four different lives and
Wow.
they were fascinating. To talk about the themes of them all and how they relate to now all makes so much sense to me. My first life that I saw, I was dropped into the 1800s and I was an angry single harlot in London.
Oh,
And
wow.
I had a daughter, and she was really my life. I didn't know who the father was, and I didn't really care. I was angry and sassy, and I felt alone and hurt by men. And I had a hard shell in that lifetime, and I died alone. That was an interesting life to reflect on because of just the idea of trust and that feeling of being alone. But I had a daughter who was my whole life, and that gave me purpose. And in this lifetime, my children are my greatest. They are the ones that give me the greatest purpose. And it was just such an interesting life to go into that. You drop down and you have no idea. You wonder, am I making this up? Am I not making the same thing even we were talking about
Totally.
before? But I really allowed Lizzie, because I trusted her so much, to help guide me through this. I went with it. It was really fascinating because I didn't really look the same and I was wearing really interesting clothing. And I was in the 1800s, and it's not in time frame that I'm often thinking about. And then the second one that I dropped into, I was a Native American man and I was a leader of a Native American tribe. And it was so beautiful. And we were surrounded by a community. And I was this man who was a leader helping the community. And I was helping my sister give birth. And there was so much ceremonial practices, and it was so different than obviously the life we live in now, because it felt so pure and filled with love and community. And I died with community. And another theme I'm working through in this lifetime is community and being safe in the community and with the right people. And when I think about it, it gives me a lot of joy. That was a really joyous, fulfilling life. And then the third one, I dropped in again. It was again in the 1800s. I was a very fancy, elegant lady, and I had gloves and beautiful Bridgerton outfit styles. And I was in a marriage, and I was also in a forbidden love. And I loved this person so much, but we were never able to be together because he was poor and he was not in the same society as I was in. And if we were to have been together, he would have been imprisoned and he would have been taken away from me. So we could never really live our lives out loud together. And I died alone in that one too. But I had a great love. It was a very interesting in that. But these themes of dying alone kept coming up. Then the fourth one is the same theme. I was a very poor farm keeper. And I don't know what time frame it was in, but I was living with my grandparents and I was helping to keep up a farm, and everybody around us had died from famine and there was no food. And I kept trying to build crops and there was just nothing. We were so poor, but I felt such purpose in trying to keep up the farm. And that gave me purpose. And I was finding such joy in the littlest details of life, being in nature, just even seeing the birds and feeling the dirt. And it was like, that's what gave me pleasure. These really simple, beautiful things in life that I think maybe I take for granted in this lifetime. And I died alone in that one as well. And so it's really interesting to see these themes of community and also being alone and love and children, all the things. It made sense to me afterwards when I dissected it of really who the people were and what it all meant and how it relates to now. But it's really, I've been thinking about all of these lives so much and how it can relate to this one and what I can do now in this lifetime to not die alone or to have that feeling of such, I'm alone, which I'm really not. And I think I mistake that because maybe that's loneliness, not being
Right.
alone.
That's right.
And it's a theme that I know that I need to keep working
Did,
on.